What's good? You already know what it is. We are here for episode 8. It's your host, Shady Cartier, and of course, this.
It is Mobius.
You already know. The Oreo. We in the house, man. Today is going to be real deep, so listen. Warning. This is the Unknown Unknowns podcast. It gets crazy over here. I don't know where you been at or why you clicking on this Joan if it's your first time, but I'm telling you, this is a hell of an episode to tune into. Wow. Welcome to the Black experience and what it's like to wonder and dream and always be concerned about your well-being in this fucking country, because you learn new shit every day and sometimes it's not very nice. It's not very nice. But I always try to start off light. Mobius. What are we talking about?
Alright, so we've got some... Okay, so we record these out of order. Just throwing it out there. But when we were planning to do this episode, Naomi Osaka had just won the U.S. Open. And she's like Japanese Haitian.
Awesome.
She got to hang out with Serena Williams for a little bit. And so, it's kind of a big deal. She's Japanese, which is great for them. She's Haitian, so, a little bit for Team Brown, So, yeah, black people, we out here. We making moves. Holla at your boy.
She was born October 16th, 1997. She's 22 years old. I can't even say her real name. What? Oh, Naomi Osaka. All right, whatever. Congratulations. Doing things. I think it's really important. Like I said, we try to focus on something light, something positive. You know what I'm saying? I think that's very important before we get into the rabbit hole. Y'all know what it is. Listen, crazy episode, sterilization. I mean, I feel like it's important to point out, even though she's Haitian and Japanese, we representing the brown side. Either way, my point is that our DNA prevails. Our DNA is strong. It is sought after. And I feel like that's something that a lot of us don't even realize. We don't value our blackness because we're looking at TV, we're looking for outside sources to motivate us to love and appreciate our melanin. And it doesn't work like that. That's not the reality of the situation. You have to look within yourself. The world is not going to show you who you really are. And you shouldn't be checking for the world anyway. Shout out to Ducky in the background. So anyway, man, it's really crazy. Our DNA should be cherished. And so shout out to Black Girls Rock, and not to say there's not, obviously there's positive movements out there. Shout out to the people with good intentions at the Black Lives Matter movement, because there's a lot of seedy ish going on, but we not gonna get into that. You got something else in the current events. This is not in black news unless, well, okay. So, and I should have looked this up. So the black man created rock music. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the current event. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Van Halen.
Yeah, that's not black news. That's just current events.
It is though. That's why I just correlated because
yeah.
That's us. That's our music.
Fair.
So if you love our music and you listen to Van Halen, then
Tap God. He died of cancer on October 6th.
Sorry.
It has been a rough year. 2020 is not holding any punches back, and we still got a couple months left to go. So rest in peace to Eddie Van Halen, the guitarist for Van Halen. And he died of cancer at age 65.
Or That sucks, bro. Um, Shout out to the, I guess, October breast cancer month.
Uh,
Yeah, what?
yeah.
Anyway, shout out to breast cancer awareness. Shout out to, anybody who's been dealing with it. Um, it's a hard thing. I don't think I know anybody immediately who's battling with cancer. Yeah, I was right.
Not
So,
specifically breast cancer, at least.
or I mean cancer.
In
Period.
general,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe one guy for me. But,
Yeah, I don't know. I just know it's a struggle. Like I seen and I heard, and I know it's hard to live with or be around anybody who has a degenerative disease. Like so shout out to y'all. Keep your head up, everything like that. One thing we got on here is the Chinese Muslim kidnapping. I gotta look into that. You got that intel?
A little bit.
Okay.
This ain't new, but it kind of it leads into what we're talking about, which is in China, the Chinese government has been kidnapping Chinese Muslims and sending them to concentration camps and detention centers and re-education clinics.
Oh, you got me from
To
reintroduction after I fuck your life up in your body.
That's if you make it out of there alive. It's basically the 40s all over again with the Nazi party.
Not banging with them. We not banging with them.
No, these are actual Nazis.
Right.
Anyway, so
right.
it leads into what we're talking about because it turns into ethnic cleansing or in this case it's more cultural cleansing. Like you're
I know because they're Muslims. That's messed up.
Yeah. And this isn't new. Vice or Vox, it's one of those news agencies. They've been reporting on it for a couple of years now. They've tracked how expansive these facilities have blown up from small camps into almost super fortresses, and it's insane because it's not new and there's not really anything that the UN can do about it besides pointing and waving their finger. Because, I mean,
this shit is sick.
I don't know. It's crazy.
It's sick. I just pulled up a headline from November 18th. And this is last year, November 18th, 2019. China tells, come on, how do you even pronounce that? The Uighur Muslims, they are abducting their families so they can cleanse their brains like they have a disease. Wow. Like, yeah. I can't. Like, listen. Outside of homicidal maniacs, like, I just really have a hard time with condoning taking away someone's human rights. Like, I don't even want to get too deep into that. That is just, like...
It's what the protesters in Hong Kong were fighting so hard for, because that's what they were afraid of, literally, was... mainland China going, hey, you're an enemy of the state now, or something, and then taking them from Hong Kong, which still is supposed to have its individual rights per the UK Chinese agreement, and then big China would go, no, you're gonna come over here now, and then you would be whisked away to mainland China to disappear and never be heard from again. That's what they were fighting so hard for, even amidst the quarantine and all that stuff. They were still out there until China came down and cracked down with an iron fist. And now, yeah,
I'm not with it.
We got news agencies leaving Hong Kong now because they're concerned for their safety and being even against Westerners. Like, you could still be arrested and charged with treason, even though you're not a Chinese/Hong Kong national. So, with that laid out on the table, let's ease into this this very, very difficult episode to talk about.
Young, and I'm telling y'all, like, big shout out to all the mother flipping, like, social I don't know. I was trying not to shout out to YouTube, but like shout out to the YouTubers, shout out to the podcasters, shout out to the reporters that want to get down to the truth and talk about like real things, because it's not necessarily easy. Like this episode took a lot of planning. Like we took like 2 weeks, like and we, man, like the time spent. Like, I just want to give you guys the right information, bro. It's not even just about how I feel about it. Like, yeah, that's what our podcast is about from the brown angle, but it's bigger than that, bro. It's bigger. So, without further ado, man, we're going to get into it. What brought the subject up? I want to, I'm always trying to get in the rabbit hole, and Moby is going to pull up on me talking about something.
Did you hear?
Did you hear? Like, what? Come on, man. Dawn Wooten, a nurse working at an ICE detention center in Georgia, made startling allegations about the treatment of the women detained there. Wooten filed a whistleblower complaint against the agency. They put the name out of the doctor. Here we go. Like, I ain't even trying to tell y'all what happened. Listen up. Just listen up. Dr. Mahendra Amin is the main physician accused of performing these invasive surgeries on detained women. What are the surgeries that they were performing? Forced sterilization. What is sterilization? Let's make sure that we are all clear. Sterilization is a procedure that closes or blocks your fallopian tubes so you can't get pregnant. Guys also have a sterilization option, but it's called a vasectomy, and it blocks the tubes that carries a man's sperm. So what are we talking about? What are we really talking about? Like
the forced sterilization of anyone who's locked up in these ICE facilities, which basically means any illegal immigrants, i.e., our neighbors south of the U.S. border, generally, but it's not limited to anybody else who, from the refugees from other countries during the wars that was going on a couple years ago, who some of them made it over here somehow. Them too. Anybody who was arrested, yeah, you're illegal. Just come hang out in this facility for the rest of your life, basically.
No, then if we let you go, cool, baby. Mm-hmm. Because you ain't got, your DNA ain't got no future.
Nope.
And that's what this is really about. Like, bro, that shit is sick. The last part of that article, shout out to NPR, and shout out to the reporters that be getting hemmed up all over the world for snitching. Shout out to NPR reporters, bro. Stay getting locked up for trying to bring us that good truth. So the last thing about that is they also claim the facility failed to protect the staff and the detainees against coronavirus. Listen, y'all over there removing uteruses or blocking fallopian tubes and all this and that. Like, yeah, I don't think they really caring about the coronavirus. Like, out there, they handing out, like, they the judge and the jury.
Yeah,
they're the judge and the jury.
It's the same reason people had a lot of questions for why prisoners were being released for non-violent crimes or anything that could be paid back within a reasonable amount of time. Their debt to society, that is. Well, look at these ICE facilities. These are government facilities in which the employees are still being infected or coming in contact with people who generally shouldn't have coronavirus because they're not going anywhere, they're not getting any visitors.
The fuck?
But they still need some level of protection. If it's airborne, if it's not, it doesn't matter.
Like, come the fuck on, Joe. Like, this shit is sick. It's crazy. You let Trump tell it. Shout out to the Orange agent. I'm sorry, I could not bring this.
You keep saying that.
You let this Agent Orange.
Yes.
I know. I don't care. I don't care. Unknown unknowns. Anyways, hit us on the Instagram. You already know what it is. Unknown, period, unknowns. Instead of an S on the second unknowns, put a 5. And instead of an O, put a 0. Get with us. You let The orange agent. Tell it. I got connections with masks. I have millions and billions of masks. And there's enough masks for everyone. There's plenty masks. Why the jails ain't got no masks? And what's even sick is a lot of these prisons are privately funded.
Yep.
Don't play with me. Do not play with me. Y'all better have y'all ish together, bro. Anybody I know locked up in them Jones, we try and sue early, ASAP, and never late. Let's get back into the heavy topic though. Unless you want to say something else.
No, let's jump into
it. Savages. So let me give a shout out to our okay. I don't want to be cliche, right? So this is a little bit of funny side, right? I ain't want to be cliche, but growing up at school, they be like, "Ooh, you got that good hair." I got Indian in my family. Okay, shout out to the ratchets, but I real life grew up being told that we had Indian in our family, for real. And I called my aunt, and I don't know why I forget every time. I don't know if she said Blackfoot or Cherokee or whatever. And Aunt A.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. So you call her and re-ask her this question. We definitely got Native American in our family. And so, we started the topic, on immigrants. Again, this is the Brown experience. You know what it is. We got to band together. We all one people. But because they told us, this, and that, this is what it is. The Native Americans, okay, and sterilization, I never really thought about that. I never really thought about it. That's a topic that I had to literally Google. Shout out to Dutch, the
Dougie.
unknown's duck. I really had to look it up because all I know is that the white man murdered a whole bunch of Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the white man took over. That's all I knew. In doing my research, I learned a bunch of stuff. And so it started off with this particular article started off with, I guess, the history of known genocide. And so when you hear the word genocide, you often think of exterminations in gas chambers like the Holocaust or mass murders by machete in Rwanda, right? I definitely, that's what we learned about in school. I don't remember Native Americans being, a topic that was important.
Not unless it was through the context of warfare.
Exactly, the beginning and all of this. So I just wanted to just throw some facts out there. Wow. In 1976, I don't know how they did census back then. I really think that shit is a joke. When we talk about the past, because listen, let's keep it real. When the census people come knock on my door, I don't know how factual these facts is when we talk about numbers. But here's the point. Approximately, there was a million Native Americans in 1976 sterilized. And many tribes had a devastating impact on the tribes. Of course, they had a devastating impact on the tribe's survival. Come on. It's crazy. The article says there are about only 100,000 women of childbearing age left. A 200 million population could support voluntary sterilization and survive, but for Native Americans, it cannot be a preferred method of birth control. Where other minorities might have a gene pool in Africa or Asia, Native Americans do not. When we are gone, that's it. That's so tough. That's so tough. And they did that to these people. And well, anyway, first of all, let me point this out. I would like to believe that Native Americans, I get the point in the definition of Native Americans, but still, as far as you were born here or your people are from here and you travel to another part of the world, I would like to believe there are Native Americans all over the world. What are you talking about? But I get the point in, you know, the article, and just pointing out like that very specific fact. Like, we came over here to where these people are from, our people, and they murdered them.
Yep. Both of us.
And then in the 1960s, the 1970s, like, what are you talking about? Like, we sterilized them, and we killed more of them, or not killed them, but prevented them from even having children.
Took their kids, told them that they had to adopt them. I watched some documentary. It was like the government went over there and was like, "Oh, you got a bunch of kids? Yeah, you can't have those. We're gonna take them from you because we think we can raise them better, or, you know, you can't raise them in these barbaric conditions," which was whatever the native traditions were.
And then took them. I remember seeing something, about that. Like, that's really messed up. My bad earlier. I didn't give you the very specific facts for the 1960s and the 1970s. 3,406 Native American women were sterilized between 1973 and 1976. And that was only because the U.S. General Accounting Office admitted that this took place in at least 4 of the 12 Indian Health Service regions. So let's even get into that. So we're going to infiltrate your land. Say we're going to put in some hospitals to help you because of your barbaric conditions. Even though you don't believe in these hospitals, you don't believe in how we do it. Mm-hmm. But we're forcing this on you because, oh, it's America. And we're going to use excuses like health care. And, you know, we want to make sure, we want to, your well-being is important to us. But you whole lying. They put these locations there. Go ahead.
We're going to need your land to do that, too. So just go ahead and move your tribe from this location so we can build this new hospital that you didn't ask for. And then set up some clinics and build some schools that don't teach what you teach and also take more of your land. Oh, you're out of land? Hey, it's pretty rough. You can leave this state and go to another one, though. There's some reservation over there. No? Oh, okay. Well, we're going to kidnap your kids while we're at it. That's
and then okay, so this was even worse, right? So then they put the facilities over there, and then they told the doctors, and I heard about this. You know, I think I pointed this out on the episode, not the money side of it, but the episode when we were talking about doctors and all that. Yeah, we had the doc on here. So basically. Oh, that's that man day. He a wild dude. Shout out to Chile for episode 3. Physicians had additional economic incentives. Are you listening?
No.
They increased their own income by performing hysterectomies and tubal ligations. You already know, that's the sterilization procedures. Instead of prescribing alternative, inexpensive methods for birth control. So you telling me shorty came in, I got 12 kids. They was like, oh, all right, I got this procedure for you. Just lay back. Now you ain't never got no kids ever again. Not, here goes some birth control and take this every month. Nah, they not treating you like they treat white women. Oh, they not doing that.
Nope.
Shout out to the white women that were murdered. So I guess we could just get into that. Everybody already know about the Holocaust. And that's what my whole thing, like, I ain't really want to bring that up and talk about that too much. Because we learned about that in school. The Holocaust, okay. In 1933, you know what I'm saying? The Nazis was in power. But this was the important part. They passed the law for the prevention of genetically defective progeny. So here's my problem with that. Who are you to think, wow, dude Mobius?
Yeah.
Who are you to think that you have the right to decide that?
Dudes in power who work with dudes with guns.
Oh. Mobius summed it up right there. That's the answer. Now we got to the bottom of it. They're like, okay, yes, that's the answer. But like, sick motherfuckers, sick motherfuckers is what I'm getting at. Like, what's that word? Like, you really on your own dick. Like, so, that's obviously not the word I'm looking for. Vain and like all those other words that
head ass.
Yeah, you stupid. Oh my gosh, Moby is over here lunching. How many J's did you hit? Right? You always supposed to be like none. You leaving them in suspense. They're like, oh, Mobius. No, he's the cookie. He's the Oreo. He's on a straight and narrow. Oreos. Obviously, we lit over here. I'm lit. Anyway, so listen. My point is, like, you really think you the shit, and you not. Like, you not a god, big G or little G. You know what I'm saying? So, no. I don't think you have the right. I don't think no government has the right. No one person. No dude in power with some friends with guns. Like, none of that. Nah, that shit is unacceptable. It's disgusting. And, like, I get it. It was like, oh, okay, if we could trick a whole bunch of people to think that it was completely acceptable. Dun, dun, dun. Then it is acceptable. Let's talk about American history. In 1907 and 1939, 30,000 plus people in the United States were sterilized. Bung.
Yep.
Unknowingly or against their will while they were incarcerated. Okay? And not just in prisons, but also mentally ill. Now, I can understand the mentally ill because you just, you're not fully coherent. I'm just going to bring you into this room, shoot you up with drugs, and they could do anything to you. And I'm really not with that, young. Shout out to the people who work at all the psychiatric facilities in the world who actually give several fucks about the patient.
More than one.
So annoying. Definitely. So, like, I can't, like, that's a whole nother tough subject right there. Like, who's looking out? Who's gonna watch the Watchmen when it comes to the physicians, the people who can't fend for themselves, people who can't talk, autistic? Because we're not just talking about crazy people. What about autistic? You know what I'm saying?
We put a lot of pressure on the cops to deal with literally everything. But and so there's cop watch, there's watch the Watchmen, there's the Oath Keepers and all that, and they're watching the cops with a microscope. But it shouldn't stop there, because the burden of blame is also in the healthcare system, or the lack thereof. Mm-hmm. And so we need to be looking at these guys too, because as we're talking about right now, not even China or any of these other places. We're talking about U.S. history from as recently as the 60s,
right?
For natives, all the way up to maybe something in the 80s with black people and them getting shot up with stuff.
Oh no, but it's still happening. So actually, you didn't even know. Your aunt was on one of the first. At experiment, I guess it's all experimental when it's one of the first, right? It was the birth control, it was the patch, and she got really, really sick. And this was like when I was real young, like this the 90s. It just came out, like they were really pushing it on black women, and we I'm gonna get into that, which I don't bang with at all. No shout out to W.E.B. Du Bois for what we about to talk about, but it's real crazy. Like, it's a whole lot of pressure to destroy your seed altogether. Man, it's messed up.
That's rough.
It's real messed up. So I'm gonna touch back on. So now we really gonna get into it. So African Americans and birth control. Let's get back on our people, okay? Now, you already know. When I was growing up, it was like pills, I didn't even know what they was talking about. Hold on. They was talking about a condom for women when I was in sex class. Now we talk about the 90s, y'all. Oh no, this is 2000s. When we would be in sex ed.
Sure.
It had to be. It's the 2000s. So I know there was a female condom.
Well, what grade was
I
you
knew
in
there was
2000?
pills.
1 and 2.
Ninth grade.
Ninth.
In 2000. Because I graduated 2004.
Right. So I was still in elementary school. So yeah,
Oh,
the early the
regardless.
2000s, yeah, but
The early to literally
2Ks.
literally 2000, because they didn't talk about sex ed in middle school. Like, they made our parents sign a paper, but we literally never really like made it around to it. So anyway,
we
my
briefed
point.
over in my elementary school, which was like 2004, right before I moved to.
I don't remember
when I was
none of
with my
that.
dad.
If there was ever a brief over, it was
I'm in the suburbs,
don't touch
Negro.
it. Don't touch each other.
I skipped it. I got to play outside.
Oh, you ain't shit. Anyway, my point is, like, growing up, when you think of birth control, it's not obviously what we're discussing. And that's why, it comes down to sterilization. But what we're going to get into, really... Okay, here's my real issue with the topic, and I need y'all to get on the Instagram. I need y'all to get on the Instagram and let me know what you think about this, okay? Because I ain't even had this written down. It just popped in my head. Here's my real issue with 2020 and what we've been through over all these years. All of these, historical events that we shouting out, everything letting you know. It all leads up to the mindset of people in 2020 who think it is okay to destroy their DNA, who think it's offspring. Are y'all hearing me? Are y'all hearing me? It's okay to murder babies.
One more time for the people in the back.
It's okay to trade babies. Shout out to India, bro. Shout out to, like, really it's okay. Yo, I don't want that baby. Brenda had a baby. Throw the baby in the dumpster. Like, listen, for that to even be a part of hip-hop culture, it gotta be some real shit, bro. And I'm talking about the culture, not this bullshit that's out here right now. We not talking about this rap, ring around the rosy shit that's out here now. No. The real hip-hop culture, bro. We throwing babies in the dumpster, bro. Like, I be trying not to take y'all to church, but our number one thing was to be fruitful and multiply. What are you doing? What are you doing if your baby have a baby? You kicking her out on the street. You don't want her. You don't love her. Feed her to the streets. Feed her to the streets. Mm-hmm. Your baby and your grandbaby, that's your responsibility. You raised that baby that went out and had a baby. Take care of your responsibilities, bro. We shouldn't be mad and angry at each other for spreading the bloodline, expanding our roots, creating real lineage. Like, what are you talking about?
People ain't ready for it.
Our mindset, it ain't ready. Our mindset been fucked up. Our mindset been fucked up. And so, okay, this may be why. During slavery times in the United States, black slave women were viewed as breeding slaves and childbearing women, simply vessels to meet the demands for labor in southern agricultural areas. Through arranged marriages and forced mating with other slaves, along with direct rape and slave owners, slave women were subject to frequent sexual exploitation. The women were even blamed for these phenomena as white. And what's the phenomena? That the slave got pregnant? Or that the baby came out white? No. It's that the white male masters developed the Jezebel complex, fucking stereotype complex, and just in their mind thought that all the black slave women was passionate and hypersexual and hoes and sluts. Like, okay, not hoes, sluts. They just want sex. They just want it bad. I know my slave is, that hoe over there. Like, literally all my slaves. Like, come on, you can't. That's not something you can force on somebody. That's something that you choose. That's a part of your sexuality that you choose to be sexual and you choose to have sex with the partners. No, this is rape. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Okay. All right. In resistance to slavery and specifically sexual oppression, black slave women often resorted to their own forms of abortion and contraception. Oh, okay. So I'm tired of being raped and abused. My mama was raped and abused. And listen, the gay shit, was popping off back then too. Mm-hmm. So dang, your brother, your father could have been raped or abused by the slave master or one of his sons or something. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. So what do? I'm a abort my own baby. I'm gonna hurt myself. So this is sick. This statement right here is sick. I didn't know about it. Southern physician E.M. Pendleton reported that plantation owners frequently complained about the unnatural tendency in African female population to destroy her offspring. Whole families of women failed to have any children. The women drew upon African folk remedies to concoct medicines that would be shared and spread throughout the slave women community. Listen. And it's so depressing. It's so depressing. I could see what would drive these women during this time to such extreme lengths.
Choice. They want to choose.
I hate it. Me and Mobius had a debate about this earlier. That's why I'm getting quiet on y'all. Again, this is a very sensitive subject. Being a woman, being black, being brown, and being proud, it hurts. It hurts. I would not want my child to become a I can't even even just trying to step and put those shoes on. The weight is so heavy trying to put those shoes on. What would you do? Let us know on IG. What would you do? What would you do? You get raped by the slave master? You gonna have that baby knowing that they're gonna be enslaved too? Or are you gonna do all this wild stuff? I don't know. I ain't even look up the wild stuff because that's really sad and upsetting. And I might do a whole episode shit on abortions or some shit like that. But I heard about hangers. Mm-hmm. They ain't had no Coca-Cola back then. But when I was growing up, and this is probably a really bad myth, but when I was growing up, they was pull Coca-Cola in your vagina is gonna kill the baby. Mm. I don't think that shit is real. But Coca-Cola is that ill, nigga. What? For that to even be a lie about your company, bruh.
Because cocaine.
The cocaine gonna kill the baby from your vagina. You gonna douche with the cocaine. You gonna douche with the Coca-Cola. That baby said, that baby shriveled up. Mm. That shit ain't no good. No shout outs to Coca-Cola. Stop rotting out your teeth. Stop rotting out. If it rot out your teeth, guess what, guys? It rot out your bones. It's not just the sugar that's in it. You can literally clean the battery acid off your battery. Fucking jerk. Of your car. Get your shit together. Or I guess anything they got a fucking damn. Mm. So regular batteries? I don't even buy Coke, but I want to try it, but I don't buy Coke. So it's not I can just go in the kitchen and be let me see. What the fuck ever. Okay, so, all right. So that was a real stressful thing, okay? So let's get into this dirty white bitch. Hold up, we got a whole episode. Y'all gotta tune in to the next episode. It's about dirty ass motherfuckers. It's gonna be lit, y'all. It's gonna be lit. But this dirty white bitch, let me go in and click on her so I can get a little bit more information about this dirty white bitch. Margaret Higgins Sanger. Sanger. Fuck this bitch. Slee. Margaret Sanger Slee. Whoever this stupid bitch is, okay, y'all know who she is. Women, I expect all women listening to the podcast, maybe not necessarily men. Shout out to the men. Keep it 100 million. Shout out to the men who know who Margaret Sanger is. Shout out to y'all. I like to call Hillary Clinton Lil Margaret Sanger. That's just me. That's petty. That's just me. But as far as I know, she is the founder of. Oh no, it says okay. Because I just clicked on the link, so I'm gonna read what it says. And I'm not gonna read that. She was an American birth control advocate. No, she was a fucker. She's a fucker. Sex educator, writer, and a nurse. Fucker. Sanger popularized the term birth control and opened the first birth control clinic in the U.S. and established organizations that evolved into Planned Parenthood Federation of America. I need y'all to understand the only difference in her, I was about to call it a manifesto, it's called a speech. The only difference in her speech and the Planned Parenthood ideology of today, they try to put this word in the middle. It's called evolved. It's called evolved. Okay, they trying to say it evolved. The concept of the birth control clinic was to remove minorities. Okay, she supported eugenics, obviously. And so I'm trying to see, she was persecuted for her book Family Limitation under the Comstock Act in 1914. Yeah. She was afraid of what would happen, so she fled to Britain until she knew it was safe to return back to the U.S. Like, literally. Talking about some, like, I wish I would have clicked on that jump, but I already read it and I already know about it. So I just need y'all to go ahead, go out there and do y'all research, because I'm not trying to get into this bitch too much. She was just a little reference or whatever in case y'all didn't know. Okay, but I don't fuck with her. Her little speech or manifesto, whatever it is, talking about something. Yeah, like, we gotta open up this abortion clinic because, you know, we gotta get these minorities under control. Like, for real. We can't have y'all breeding all over the place. So, no. This isn't for white women. No. You go and have your baby. This is for anybody that ain't white. Okay, so anyway, back to it. In July 1932, she published a special issue of her magazine entitled Birth Control Review. The issue was titled The Negro Number and called on prominent African Americans to display why birth control was beneficial to the African American community. So this is where me and Mobius had an argument about. Authors such as W.E.B. Du Bois and George Schuler, shout out to George's lineage. Like, if I'm saying y'all last name wrong, oh well, sorry. They contributed to a magazine stating different reasons why they believe contraception was an asset for blacks. Listen, my mother made me read one of his books. No, that's Marcus Garvey. Boom. No, I think she tried to make me read that book, one of his books too. I don't know. That's so funny. I real life remembered it was a Marcus Garvey book, and I did not want to read that shit, bro. And then I grew up and was like, damn, my mom was on point. My mama was on point with it. Okay, W.B. Du Bois was like, that's the person that you learn about in school. Anyway, what I didn't know was about his point of view when it comes to this. And so, you know, we be going in a rabbit hole. I ain't trying to get into the Illuminati or nothing like that. I don't even know what you want to call them. The Margaret Sanger gang members that's still alive today. Get them. Anyways, apparently, they think it's cool. They think it's cool to kill babies and to not prosper as a race. But it's real funny because you talking about somebody else's race. And so to have W.E.B. Du Bois, I got to look at him sideways like, are you Uncle Tom? Are you with Illuminati? Are you really representing us? Are you playing both sides of the fence because you's a Mason and you know that you got to like spit a little bit of truth, but like cough up some bullshit every now and then, like, you know what I'm saying, for the scheme, you know, to show that you're down with the bullshit, for the fucking scheme, yeah, for they shitty ass fucking team. So anyway, so let's get into it, young. This is my whole issue and why I'm going in. Shout out to everything he did positive for the black community. Like, don't get me fucked up. I'm not trying to be ignorant, but I'm a woman, right? I'm a woman, and so like I said, I'm not trying to take y'all to church, but we gotta keep it 100. If we gonna be fruitful and multiply, his point of view is not gonna work. And so Du Bois addressed the issue of birth control as a means of empowerment for African Americans in the article Black Folk and Birth Control. This was the response, okay, to Sanger. Okay? She needed a support system from the black people.
Yep.
Back me up. Y'all should have abortions regularly. Back me up, black people. And Du Bois said, or Du Bois believed that voluntary birth control could serve as a way for blacks to plan their families and secure their economic futures by not producing more children than the family could afford. Let's address that first. You want to say something?
I was going to wait till after that section.
Okay.
So we could have our freeform debate.
Okay, fine. I'll just be trying to refer. You know how I do it. Yep. Okay, so my issue is that they're valuing money over lives in that statement. Okay. He also addressed the issue of African Americans and the belief that in order to gain a substantial amount of power, blacks need to produce more offspring, which to me sounds like a counterproductive statement. Du Bois stated they must learn that among human races and groups, as among vegetables, quality and not mere quantity counts. Mm-hmm. I don't think quality of life is something that you can determine until that person fucking dies. Because if you did not give them a chance to live, you cannot tell me, Joe. And that's one mother flipping lesson. Like, shout out to stupid ass comic books. You know what I'm saying? But that's one mother flipping lesson that I learned from The Watchmen. Who gonna watch The Watchmen? Watch the movie, bro. That was funny. Watch the movie, Jan. Like, do you even remember that one was like 4 hours long? I think I got the DVD.
Is it really 4 hours long?
It's 2 DVDs. Maybe it's only like two and a half.
We saw it in the movie, so it was just long. Anyway, so...
What?
All right, before we continue.
I know. I was like...
we're reading all this from Wikipedia. The other article about the natives was, I think, Minnesota Post or something like that. So, just, for context.
Yeah.
So, I get where you're coming from. And in middle school and early high school, I was definitely pro-life. Like, no matter what, save the kids and all that stuff. But, as I've grown into an adult... choice matters more to me. You shouldn't be forced to do something that you personally don't want to do. And so it is literally your choice.
But you're forcing that baby to die, though.
You are.
You didn't give that baby a choice. You didn't give the baby a choice.
The baby can't make a choice. The baby doesn't exist
because you're not the baby do exist. How could you kill a baby that don't exist? So we're not talking about contraceptives. We're not talking about contraceptives. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about abortion.
Right.
This is an abortion clinic. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the contraceptives is fucked up too.
Right.
That's fucked up too.
Sure.
I get it. But you're killing the baby before the baby was formed.
Right.
Right. My issue is with the abortion culture. Mm-hmm. Which now is evolving into something so acceptable that as a little ass fucking pill.
Mm-hmm. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
pro-choice. Because Mobius is pro-choice.
It's a hot topic. And
it is.
Hot topic, hot pockets.
Welcome to Unknown Unknown.
So, like, how long until the baby has a brain?
No, nigga, we not gonna. Excuse me, Ninja. We not gonna get into that.
That's where I would consider it murder.
Like, but what forms first? Like the heart. So if the heart forms, like, how do babies form? Listen, you gotta talk to the people. Talk to the people. Talk to the people.
We are
He
investigating.
preaching. He preaching. Within about 3 days after conception, the fertilized eggs is dividing very fast. Whatever. Okay, whatever. There's only a placenta. I don't know. It said 3 days. I didn't even Google ain't shit. 3 days after you fuck that bitch. 3 days after you fuck that bitch?
Mm-hmm.
3 days after you fuck that bitch.
Things are starting. So
3 days. 3 days.
Right. But what's next?
All right.
Heart.
Know
fair. Okay, so
baby get a
heart or brain.
Stupid ass baby.
Then I'm like, okay, yeah, it's probably murder. 4 weeks, so that's a month. It's got a heart. It's got blood vessels. It's got a face. It's got a neck. It's got some lungs. It's got some stuff. So 4 weeks. You had a month to figure it out.
The lungs and the stomach start to develop.
A home pregnancy test would
my
show positive.
gosh, yes.
So at that point, it's too late.
Oh my gosh. That's your baby. That should look weird.
Mm.
No, you got me fucked up. So that's what I'm saying. And you know abortion, this not what people go to the abortion clinics for.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get real. People go to the abortion clinics for
12 weeks.
What's the law? It's like supposed to be like 6 weeks. This baby is now a little over a half an inch. No.
A month.
8 weeks. That's 2 months.
No, I'm saying like so a month is when it's got a heart, and so if you stop that heart, that's kind of murder. I'd be willing to have a really long debate about that.
That's what I was saying. Like, that should be a whole episode. In the 1920s, the Soviet Union became the first modern state formally to legalize abortion. Wow. But in 1917, abortion was readily available. Like 3 years before it was legal, they was like, "Yeah, fuck it, we don't want to buy this anyway." Like, I can't. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know what the law is. That's what I was trying to find out. Like,
time limit.
Time limit. Yeah, limit.
So as she's doing that, I don't know. I'm a dude. It's the privilege of a dude to not really think about these things in the same way that women have to make and plan literally their lives around children and stuff. I'm speaking from the perspective of 7 months. 7 months. That feels like too long.
Oh my fucking... Yo, I'm not with the United States. Like, no shout out to Roe versus Wade. No. Alright, y'all. My mind is blown. In majority opinion delivered by the court in Roe versus Wade, viability was defined as potentially able to live outside the woman's womb, albeit with artificial aid. Viability is usually placed at about 7 months. That's fucking sick. The baby got a heart. The baby got lungs. The baby got a brain.
Yeah.
You got me fucked up. Let's go look at the baby. Oh my fucking goodness. You're able to kill a baby up until here. The baby, 28 weeks, 2 pounds, 6 ounces. You can still kill a baby.
Yeah. That's
the law in which they created
the
that
US
shit.
law, yeah.
That law, viability outside the womb, you got me fucked up. There are no ethics in this country. Ain't no ethics and no morals in this world except for in the Bible. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen. Ain't no ethics and no morals in this world unless you have them for yourself. Don't let nobody tell you that something is wrong is right. And that's what my issue is, that this generation 2020, they don't want that baby. They popping pills. This generation 2020, how we going to have a future of black little boys and black little girls if everybody just want to have sex and go pop a pill? And this is what's blowing my mind, is that these young girls don't know when you pop the pill, it ain't just killing that baby for right now. You destroying your uterus. You're destroying your stomach. You're destroying... Like what? Your intestines? Like what?
Them guts.
Like them guts. Early. So you just gonna let them smash off in the guts. Net off in the guts. Then you will destroy your guts. And then when you meet a good guy,
you can't reproduce.
Oh. And let's keep it real. When it comes to kings and princes and men in power, if you can't have no baby, what?
You gotta adopt. Or
what?
Get a surrogate.
You talking that 2020 stuff. Yeah, all right. Talk that 2020 stuff, Mobius. Tell them that 2020
If you can't have
shit.
kids, what are your other options?
Yeah, no. To leave that because she can't have kids. You worthless. And I'm, obviously, again, you talking that 2020 shit. You talking 2020 shit.
If you love that person and they're, okay, whatever they did when they were younger, if they've turned out to be
that's not the point.
A civil person in society.
I'm a king. Listen, this is what you don't understand.
Sure.
Because it's 2020 with the surrogates and all that.
Mm-hmm.
With the surrogates.
Sure.
So that's a real technical. It's your sperm and my egg, and then they put it inside of another woman's stomach.
Yes. I'm aware.
It costs that bag too, by the way. And
so
it's very dangerous because you don't know if you could trust that bitch.
You don't know if it's gonna work. It's very expensive. So when you throw around words like king, I'm not
I'm gonna
using
leave you. I can't do it because that got to come out of me.
If you're throwing around words like king, you got the money to try to do it. And if you love this person, you're gonna try anything that's possible.
No, when you throw out the words like king, you gonna be my wife, and guess what? I got another wife. Ain't nobody got no time for this. And this shit was in the Bible too. Except in the Bible, it was in a different way. Like, you being selfish and greedy, and you should have just waited for me, God, to give you a baby when I decided that you should have a baby. Like, that was that story.
Sure.
But literally, he wasn't a king or anything, but he was important. It was back in the day. And so he had a servant because his wife couldn't give him no baby.
Right.
You know what happened?
What?
He smashed the servant. The servant got pregnant. And then his old ass wife got pregnant.
Right.
But she could never have babies.
Mm-hmm.
No, y'all was just impatient. Like, this shit was crazy. Then he had to send the servant girl away with her son. And they almost died in the woods. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. That's just the ill-ass drama story. It's just ill. Y'all need to go read the Bible. It's a lot of drama. It's love and hip-hop. It's all types of stuff.
I got time for that. Look, if you want kids and you can't have them, you have options. But when you throw around words like king, you better exhaust every resource available to you before you go, this ain't going to work. I can't be with you. Bye.
If I can't get an offspring from my DNA, there ain't no prince. Ain't no prince out here. Ain't no queens out here.
No, it's my son. It's my daughter. I'm not a king. I'm just a dude on the street. That's it. So when you throw around words like king,
I'm not a king.
I'm
just a dude.
No. Because that's
because you BS. All on that love shit, bro. You on that LGBTQ
Isn't that important?
No. Shit.
What does that have to do with love? What does that have to do with love?
Hey, look, I fucked Mobius
What's
up.
love
Y'all
got
heard
to do
that.
with it?
Y'all heard it.
No.
Mobius instantly hit a U-turn. He's not with the shit.
You're implying something that I'm definitely not. In any way,
you're supposed to say no affiliation. No, you ain't even have to say it like that.
No bueno. There will be no mistakes here.
Mistakes were made.
There will be no.
There were none.
There will be none of this.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us for another flipping episode.
Poem.
Only got like one or two things to refer. Whatever. We at the end of the episode. I'm about to do a good poem for y'all. And then we're going to end it on a very positive note. Because that's what we doing. I want you to have a good day. Don't be stressed out about the fuckery that's going on in this shitty ass country. Don't be stressed out. Let's vibe. Let's vibe. I'm tired of watching through the looking glass. I'm tired of Alice's ass. A story so swell that ends so well for one unlike me. Killing me silently as so they have tried. But I live and breathe to bleed my tribe. Maybe the reason without them I'd have no life. In what season is it okay to cry? Falling, failing, flailing so far. always left out to sea, abandoned world for me. Judge and jury, listen as I plea. Please, oh please, don't destroy me. My seed deserves to grow, not ashes. My lineage destroyed, so our kind will perish. Something about being on the outside. Why fear? Why cry? Burning pain and desire to change. Something often discussed without action. Let's take a chance to raise awareness, so they say. But truly collecting checks and spreading daggers hurt my brain. When will it end? When will it end? When will this country I love stop pouring salt on souls? Steadily feeding demons sugary dreams of old. Do what thou wilt, nothing is wrong, but kill as I kill, so blood sheds all the day long. Destruction, a home for us all. Pain and suffering, things that create the fall. Wanting, needing, pandering to above all, to self. Anyone outside your reach deserves death. The place I dreamed as a child, I learned, does not exist. America, not the safest place. America, smiling while suffering in your face. Yeah, fuck America for real. But I mean, I'm here. I ain't trying to leave, though. I ain't trying to leave.
Yeah, that was deep.
That was real deep. Yeah.
All right, it is that time. This is episode 8.
Shit. Yeah, positive. Episode 8, Sterilization.
We did
There's nothing left but going down the list of African American first. So shout out to African Americans all over the world, all through history. Matthias de Souza, 1641, the first office holder in colonial America. Nice. The first city mayor, Pierre Caliste Landry, in 1861. The first woman Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, in 2005. Shout out to Macon B. Allen in 1845, admitted to the bar. Of course, this is law related. Yeah, buddy. Shout out to Charlotte Ray in 1872, also admitted to the bar. Shout out to the first federal judge, William Henry Hasty, in 1946. Shout out to U.S. Army unit, the first U.S. Army unit to have black men comprise more than half of its troops. It's the first Rhode Island Regiment of 1778. Big love over there.
New York.
The first black patent holder, Thomas L. Jennings, in 1821. And this is for science, y'all. The first space shuttle commander, Frederick D. Gregory, 1998. Big love. We doing big things. I'm so proud of all the black people to be the first to do all of these things. But I want to say these are the first to be recognized. You know, we have been doing amazing things all throughout history, but they didn't want to recognize us for any of the things that we did. My favorite subject, art and literature. Shout out to Lucy Terry, 1746, the first black female poet. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We got to shout out to Toni Morrison, 1993, Nobel Prize winner for literature.
Books.
Yeah, books. Shout out to books. Thank you guys so much for getting on this episode. I know it was hard. I know it was heavy. I know it was a roller coaster. But Mobius got put off. So no extended play for you. Nothing for you. Hit us on the Instagram. Let us know what you think. Tell us about your childhood. Tell us what you think about abortion. Man, listen, be fruitful and multiply. Plan your families. Don't put money over the value of life. Stop killing each other. Stop killing people, period. Big love. Yeah. Friend. See y'all next time.